So why is it whenever I go away for a few days, something huge happens? So the day before I went away, it was announced there was going to be a merger with AT&T and Discovery, although it's not really a merger at all. AT&T has essentially sold the Warner Media assets to Discovery, but Warstu, AT&T are going to retain 71% of the stock, but it's going to be run by the Discovery CEO who will have 29%. That's my point. It is going to be run by Discovery. So let's break this down and how it's going to affect DC Comics, DC movies, and everything going forward. So yo, what is good YouTube? I'm your host, Warstu. God, it feels good to say that. If you're new around here, make sure to check out the YouTube channel, which you're on now, Warstu. Check us out on the Instagram at Warstu. Check us out on twitch.tv/Warstu. And also check us out on Twitter, WarstuG, aka The Maverick. Right, let's break this down. See, I've had a lot of tweets, a lot of DMs, and a lot of conversations about this because it seems to me that a lot of people are misconstruing and misreporting this. And when it comes to business news, do not look at Hollywood trades. Variety, THR, these are opinion pieces based on nothing. You need to be looking at Business Insider, Financial Times, actually big business newspapers. Don't be looking at trades because trades will be coming from a Hollywood point of view. This is a strictly business deal. Now, the first question is, oh my God, Jason Keeler's out. Oh my God, Restore the Snyderverse is not out. Guys, this is so much freaking bigger than the Restore the Snyderverse. This will change the whole of DC movies, DC world of movies, whatever you want to call DCEU, the Snyderverse, whatever you want to call it. This is going to change DC, not only DC, Warner Bros. Properties going forward. So this is freaking huge. So what's going to happen is essentially a new company will be formed. That will mean essentially all the Warner Media executives, all the Warner Bros. Executives, when Warner, like if they get rid of Warner Media, they form a new company. That means their current contracts will be erased. So if they want to get rid of Ann Sernoff, if they want to get rid of Walter Malley, if they want to get rid of Toby Emmerich, if they want to get rid of Warstu, essentially when they form this new company, it will be dissolved. And whenever companies merge, two giant companies merge, generally the company that's taken over has preferential treatment when it comes to which executives come over. So it looks like within the next year, you're going to be seeing a massive shuffle. But this shuffle, it's going to be pretty interesting because a lot of people are like, yo, Warstu, you're freaking wrong because Jason did not get fired. Jason was like, yo, I don't want to work for anyone. I want to be the freaking boss. And then he's negotiating his way out. So what is interesting is a lot of Snyderverse fans are pushing this into, yeah, this is so good. Guys, this is so much bigger than the Snyderverse. Yeah, I get it. I know you want the Snyderverse, but this is like the DC movies, the DC TV shows, the animated. This is the whole of the freaking company. It's so much freaking bigger than just the Snyderverse. It's huge. It's like we changed the landscape of DC going forward. Now, I don't think DC and Warner Bros. Is going to be so much of a powerhouse going forward because Discovery is essentially going to take over. What's interesting is the guy in charge, I'm not even going to pronounce his name, the guy in charge, he wants to rekindle the romantic relationships, the relationships with the studios that was essentially buried with Christopher Nolan and all the other like talent, I guess you say, that was lost. So essentially, he's all about the talent. And who is the talent? Zack Snyder. If you want to get the talent back on board, why do you think Zachary Snyder was trash talking Warner Bros? Warner Bros tortured me, bro. Yeah, Warner Bros tortured you, tormented you. But Zack Snyder knew this. It was a bit odd, and there was like little YouTubers coming out going, yeah, Zack Snyder's just killed the universe. He's just killed his own Snyderverse by saying this stuff. Then the literal next day, there was a freaking merger, and Zack knew about this. Now, Toby Emmerich was looking for a job at Netflix, and his buddy David Geffen tried to help him, and he's like, nah, Netflix were cool. So somehow Toby Emmerich knew about this, but Jason Keeler did not know about this. So guys, like I keep saying, chill out, guys. Seriously. This is only a good thing for DC going forward. I'm not talking exactly about the Snyderverse, but as I've said from day one, I'm not a backtracker. I'm not one of these little creators that backtrack. No, from what I'm hearing, this is not going to change the plan for the Snyderverse at all of what was going on behind the scenes. It's all the same. It really is. It's going to have massive ramifications for the whole company as a whole because they will essentially form a new company and AT&T will retain majority stocks. And don't listen to people like Grace Randolph saying, yeah, but AT&T are going to sell all the stocks. No, they're not. They're really not. AT&T are going to concentrate on their 5G and mobile phone network. They want to be the biggest in the world, but they're going to have a slice of the new company, so they will essentially make money, and Discovery gave them a big chunk of money, which will help them pay that deficit off. So this is only realistically going to be a good thing going forward for the SnyderVerse. But do not be expecting changes to happen within the next week, month, 2 months. This will all take time. It's not gonna bam instantly. SnyderVerse is back and Ben Affleck's back and Warstu's back. Got a cameo rolling. Oh, actually, I shouldn't really say that, but yeah, you get my drift. Things will start moving, but these were already lined up. It's like when we reported there was an internal civil war. Well, you wouldn't merge with another company if your company wasn't screwed, would you? No. So the stories about the internal civil war were definitely true. This 100% concurrently confirms there was a civil war. You don't merge, like basically AT&T had enough because things weren't working. The people they put in charge, and then everyone's like, oh, it's Ann Cernoff's fault. Well, you gotta understand is AT&T brought Ann Cernoff in. She wasn't brought in from anyone else. She was brought in from AT&T, so she's probably not going to be in the firing range. AT&T merge with Discovery. It will be announced, and they will announce new executives. Warner / Discovery company to be announced soon. I did expect it to come out on Wednesday, but it didn't. So yeah, it really didn't. But what's interesting is the CEO of Discovery, David, signs a new contract to go straight through to 2027. Now everyone's like, yeah, he's going to turn everything around. I mean, in theory, he could, but that doesn't mean he's going to. And also yesterday, we had the news about the Matt Reeves and the JJ Batman animated series. But it seems like DC are throwing all their stuff out at the moment because all this stuff was already in the works. It's not like it's randomly came out of nowhere. The Batman animated series, that was always coming. And you're going to hear a lot of he said, she said, what? But the main takeaway here is the people at AT&T know they have no clue what they're doing. So they've merged with Discovery, kind of very wide decision. And essentially the head of Discovery, who will be the head of this new company, I mean, I guess Discovery Media, Warner, Discovery, something like that. He wants to rebuild relationships with directors and talents at Warner Bros. And it's going to be a massive shakeup, and a lot of executives will be out that freaking door, which is cool. They want to bring back these IPs that could thrive and should thrive. But this whole shoving everything on the streaming service literally screwed everyone over. It really did. Warner Bros. Lost a lot of credibility with big film studios, big relationships, big talent, actors, directors, because let's be honest, if you're going to make it in Hollywood, you need to be liked. Like, your company has to be liked because no one would want to work for you. So this is only a good thing, and this is an updated video I did from the other day because I've been away for a few days. So it is interesting, guys. But yeah, restore the Snyderverse. Yeah, sure, bro. It could still happen. Just like I said before, I'm like one of the few people that has not changed his story. I've not changed the agenda. I've always said that it could happen. But what is interesting is, I know I'm a few days behind on this, but there was some data that came out, and it says compelling collections of personalities, franchises, and IPs. So we have Warner Bros., DC, HBO, but what was interesting is it had Zack Snyder's Justice League on there, like it was his own franchise, but it's next to the likes of The Matrix, Harry Potter, Warstu, Lord of the Rings, Sesame Street. So if you take this at face value, you could think, oh my god, Restore the Snyderverse is already here, but it's not. In theory, it's just saying what IPs are popular. But what's more interesting is they, now after this merger, and I like to address this point here, that everyone keeps making this freaking agenda that, yeah, there was a gagging order. No, Warner Brothers were not talking about any property. They weren't talking about Godzilla vs. Kong, Mortal Kombat. We didn't get numbers for any of them. So these people, these gatekeepers who keep saying stuff like, yeah, there's no gagging order. I don't freaking care what you say in your little live stream. There was no gagging order. There really wasn't a gagging order. And if there was, show me some actual evidence rather than my source said. No, because this gagging order is absolutely ridiculous. It really is. So now they've come out and basically said that the Snyder Cut was successful, and it still is. People are still watching it because streaming, it's about long term. It's about long term longevity. It's not about let's get crazy numbers opening weekend, because even if a box office is going to do well and a theatrical run is going to do well, it needs to do better than just a great opening weekend. It has to have a great, at least 5 to 6 weeks at the box office. So yeah, it was interesting when these numbers came out, the made up numbers, but we all know that movie actually did pretty well in the end. So it's positive. So yeah, Restore the Snyderverse should happen, could happen. And it is interesting that the head of Discovery was talking about great AIPs like Superman, like Batman. Like I keep telling you guys, there is Henry Cavill's news that is coming, and there's Batfleck news that's out there. But as I said, and as I freaking debunked it, it's not a Batman Arkham series. Oh yeah, I get it. It's going to use attributions of Batman Arkham. And you can't really say that. You guys, you can't say that, because like Batman versus Superman used attributes of Arkham Knight. But if you're going to post a story, a fabrication story saying, yeah, it's going to be Batman Arkham, but it's just going to pull inspiration. Pulling inspiration from Arkham Knight. Literally could have one thing from Arkham Knight and you could say that. So yeah, it's a fluff piece. The Batfleck series could still come from what we understand. What we told you about the backstory, about how Joker killed Batman's son, Deathstroke, Joe Manganiello, Slade Wilson story, it's all still there. So It's just a case of when they decide to pull the button. Discovery Media, Warner Discovery, Warner Stew. I don't know. I always like to throw my name into these conversations, even though it's got nothing to do with it. So guys, yeah, it's going forward. The key thing here is the CEO wants to repair broken relationships with studios, talents, Zack Snyder. Now, I know I keep going on about the SnyderVerse and stuff, but that's realistically why you guys watch me. Although I keep telling you this merger, although it's a buyout, is so much bigger than just the SnyderVerse. It's restoring DC, Warner Brothers back to how great it could be when it was great. So like always, guys, let me know what you think below. Also, make sure to check out the Instagram at Warstu, Twitter WarstuG, and Twitch.tv/Warstu. And I will catch you in another video very soon, guys. Catch you later.